It was late in the evening when Emma received the message. The text was simple: "Don't go home tonight." There was no name attached, but it sent a shiver down her spine. She glanced at the number. It was a stranger's. She wasn't alone in the office, but the building was eerily quiet, the fluorescent lights buzzing faintly overhead. Her phone buzzed again. Another text. "It's already too late. They're waiting for you." She stared at the screen, a cold sweat creeping up her neck. The tone was too familiar, too personal, like the sender knew her every step, her every decision. She quickly called her best friend, Rachel, but the call went straight to voicemail. A sharp knock on the office door made her jump. It was Josh, her coworker. "You good?" he asked, his brow furrowed. "You look pale." "Yeah, fine," Emma said, trying to shake off the sense of dread clawing at her chest. She tried to laugh it off. "Just a bad feeling, I guess." Josh raised an eyebrow. "Weird texts," her breath hitched. "How did you know?" "I don't know. You just looked like someone who got a weird text." "Happens to me all the time." He smiled, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. Emma nodded weakly. "I think I'm just overreacting." Josh lingered for a moment, then turned to leave. "Well, be careful. It's a long walk to your car at this hour." Emma glanced at the clock. It was already past 11 p.m. She grabbed her coat and phone, her hand shaking slightly. Her gut told her to stay, to wait for Rachel to call back, but her feet carried her toward the elevator anyway. The lobby was empty when she stepped out of the elevator, and the only sound was the clicking of her heels on the marble floor. She glanced around, her pulse racing. The building's lights flickered once, then twice. She froze. Her phone buzzed again. They're already inside. Her heart stopped. She bolted toward the front door, but it wouldn't open. Her hand fumbled with the handle, but the door was stuck, as if jammed from the outside. Panic surged through her. She spun around, trying to think, trying to calm herself. That's when she noticed the shadow in the corner of the lobby, standing perfectly still. It was a man, tall and thin, his face obscured by the dim lighting. Emma's breath caught. The figure didn't move. Suddenly, the air grew colder, her breath visible in front of her face. The man stepped forward, and as he did, something about him changed. His eyes glowed faintly, unnaturally bright in the dark. The shadows around him seemed to ripple like smoke. "You shouldn't have left." The voice was low, hollow, and filled with an unnatural echo. Emma turned, her panic clawing at her throat. She needed to get out. She pulled at the door again, but it wouldn't budge. "To be continued."